There is someone on your team right now who shouldn't still be there. Your foreman knows it, your crew knows it, the employee probably knows it too. They have already perfected the art of looking intensely busy while holding a single broom for 2 hours. And if you're honest, you know it too, but nothing changes. I'm not saying that to make you feel guilty. I'm saying it because every day you avoid that conversation, you're sending a message to everyone on your team, especially your best employee, the one who actually shows up with all their tools and ready and doesn't treat a 15-minute coffee break like a weekend getaway. And eventually, they'll stop waiting for you to lead and they'll leave. I've been there too. And I've seen how this plays out in company after company. Most of your crew works hard. One person doesn't. Maybe they're late every week, blaming traffic, like they didn't know the highway existed until this morning. Maybe they cut corners so bad, you're worried that the building inspector will love them off the side. Maybe everyone else has to fix their mistakes, meaning your top guys spend half their day playing construction detective, tracing where Bob went wrong. Everyone knows exactly who we're talking about. The question isn't whether your team notices. The question is, what are they learning from your silence? Because while you're busy managing projects, chasing suppliers, and dealing with rising costs, your best employee is asking, if this is what gets tolerated here, why am I giving my best? If Bob gets paid the same wage for doing half the work and losing the tape measure 3 times a day, maybe I should just slow down too. This isn't just an opinion. Research in organizational psychology consistently shows that perceived fairness and how consistently leaders enforce standards is one of the strongest predictors of employee engagement and retention. A large body of research on organizational justice also shows that employees evaluate not just outcomes, but how fairly rules are applied. When poor performance is ignored, high performance interpret that as unfairness. They don't think you're being the nice boss. They think you're being blind. Workplace studies have also shown that employees who strongly agree that their organization holds people accountable are significantly more engaged. And engagement is directly tied to retention and productivity. And here's the key point. High performance don't usually leave because of one poor employee. They leave because leadership allows poor performance to continue. They're fine working around a bad apple. They just can't stand watch their boss protect the raft. A study published in the Academy of Management journal found that top performers are more sensitive to inequality and more likely to withdraw or exit when they perceive imbalance in contribution versus reward. Your best guys are the quickest to spot unfairness, and they'll check out mentally long before they hand you their 2 weeks notice. That's a huge difference though. Top performers expect fairness, not perfection. They know people make mistakes. What they can't accept is watching the same behavior happen over and over again with no accountability. Like watching someone ghost the crew on a Friday afternoon with mysterious back pain, only to see them posting pictures of their new dirt bike on social media Saturday morning. I think many business owners assume their best employees are motivated primarily by money. That's not the case. In my experience, that's only part of the picture. They're just as motivated by fairness. They want to believe that effort matters, that good work is recognized, and that standards apply equally to everyone, even if the guy slacking off happens to be related to the client. The moment they stop believing good work matters is when they start planning their exit, typically without complaining, arguing, just planning. They aren't going to slam doors or make a scene. They're just going to quietly scroll through job boards on their lunch break. Research also shows that turnover decisions are often made months before the resignation, with disengagement showing up long before employees formally leave. But yet, all the business owners I work with, they seem surprised. By the time they hand you their resignation, they have already moved on though. They're not coming back. You're talking to a ghost who is already imagining their new commute. So why don't owners deal with it? Usually, it isn't because they don't care. We all agree on that. It's probably because they're avoiding something uncomfortable. Maybe you hate confrontation. Who doesn't? Maybe you're worried about legal risks. Maybe you're afraid employee will argue, complain, or create a reality TV level of drama on the shop floor. Those concerns are real and valid. But avoidance has a cost. Harvard Business School's research on leadership avoidance shows that when leaders delay addressing performance issues, it reduces the team trust and signals that standards are optional. Every week you wait, Your team sees what you're willing to tolerate. And your best people are paying attention. Your strongest employees notice everything. Who gets recognized, who gets away with things, who carries the workload, who doesn't. They're constantly deciding whether this is a place worth building a career. Research on social comparison theory shows that human beings actually naturally compare effort. It's how we decide whether we're being treated fairly. When they perceive imbalance, motivation drops. In practical terms, when high performers consistently compensate for underperformance, their risk of burnout increases significantly. Meanwhile, they're covering extra work, fixing mistakes, protecting client relationships, keeping projects moving. They're doing all of that without asking for recognition, but every extra task chips away at their loyalty. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts, or rather, death by 1,000 redone drywall patches. Here's where many companies get stuck. They know there's a problem, but they haven't documented anything. It's all been heavy sighs and eye rolls, which unfortunately doesn't hold up well in court. That makes actions much harder, both operationally and legally. Best practice guidance consistently emphasizes that clear documentation is one of the strongest protections in performance management and termination decisions. Documentation doesn't have to be complicated either. It can be as simple as an email or text message after conversation. As we discussed today, I expect you on site and out of your truck by 7 a.m. starting Monday. We'll review this again at the end of the week. That's it, $0. But now you've created a record. You've clarified expectations. You've given the employee the opportunity to improve. That's not just protection. That's good management. Most people imagine the conversation being far worse than it actually is, picturing a screaming match straight out of American Chopper. But research on feedback effectiveness shows that feedback works best when it is specific, behavior-focused, and tied to clear expectations. Keep it simple, keep it factual, focus on observable behavior, not their personality. For example, look, you've been late more than half the days this month. When you're late, the truck doesn't leave, the crew is sitting around, and everyone else has to hustle double time to make up for it. Going forward, I need you boots on the ground by 7 a.m. If this doesn't improve over the next 30 days, we'll have to look at whether this is still the right fit. That's it. No lecture, no anger, just clarity. And clarity is respect. Because now the employee knows exactly where they stand, and your best employee sees that leadership finally stepped up. I want you to think of that one person. You already know who this is. Their face probably popped up in your head about 4 minutes ago. This week, don't fire them, don't avoid them, just have the first documented conversation. Address the behavior, set expectation, follow through. Because leadership isn't pretending the problem doesn't exist. Leadership is dealing with it. And your best employees have been waiting for you to do exactly that. If you're running a construction or manufacturing company and trying to manage HR challenges on your own, doing coding jobs, putting out fires, and wondering where your 10mm socket went, you don't have to. At Catalyst HR Partners, we help small and mid-sized companies build practical HR systems that protect the business and keep great employees from walking away to your competitors. You'll find the link in the description. And if this topic resonated, subscribe. Next week, we're talking about why fractional HR has become one of the smartest investments for growing construction companies, and why doing HR yourself often costs far more than you think.